all you Buc-ee's people out there. And we are in Pigeon Forge, Gatlinburg area. And up there on the hill, what is it? Buc-ee's.
Smokies!
And I believe this is the biggest one that in America. But apparently they're back to building another big one for Texas. So that thing is huge. I don't even know how to explain how long that thing is. It's all the gas pumps that I'm sitting here trying to check out. Okay, go all the way from there, all the way down there. I don't even think you can see the end of the building. It's so huge. So that gives you an idea. Biggest Buc-ee's, guys. There you have it.
Well, this morning we wake up and find ourselves in the Smoky Mountains. So headed out for a nice cup of coffee. And, you know, guys, they don't call it the Smoky Mountains for no reason. I mean, look at that. I mean, is that gorgeous or what? You know, and then so we walk down here to the riverbanks, and we're kind of just below a dam. And I don't think it's a Corps of Engineering property, but it's something like that. And you walk down here and you see all the fog and the clouds kind of roll into this little river area here, and it's just gorgeous. Take a look at this. And as the sun starts to come up, more and more of the surrounding landscape starts to reveal itself, just very slowly, a little bit at a time.
Well, that's a pretty sweet setup here, right here on the water.
Pretty cool deal, huh?
Out here watching TV. But I'm just sitting by the river, watching the water flowing by.
Are you living in a van down by the river, hon?
I am living in a van down by the river. Not really, but kinda. Yep. I mean, man, that's sweet. Look at that, guys. This is gorgeous. Whoa, that was the dog rope. Wow. So beautiful. Out here in the Smoky Mountains. Hey guys, we're so happy you're along this journey with us, and you have helped us grow our channel, and we are so appreciative. But if you haven't yet, please subscribe and like, and we enjoy you coming along this journey with us. Thanks, guys. So we're really excited today because we are going to go explore the Smoky Mountain National Park just on the other side of Gatlinburg. So we have been in it a little bit, but we're going to go into it farther today and do a little bit of hiking and exploring and checking everything out. So come along with us, guys. That's nice that they give you some pullover spots where you can check out the creek on the side if you want to as you drive down toward Gatlinburg. We are up here at the Great Smoky Mountain National Park.
We pulled over at the overlook of Gatlinburg, and you can see that behind us looking right down on the city.
It is absolutely beautiful, and the trees are starting to turn color just slightly. We're getting some reds and some yellows, but we have never done the bypass before. We have been to Pigeon Forge and Gatlinburg several times, but we are just taking our time coming up here and driving through and stopping at the overlooks. So
yeah, so far it's a really great drive coming up through this bypass. And what you can't see behind us, the city of Gatlinburg, there are gondolas that go up to other parts and areas you can see, and occasionally we'll see one go by here at the overpass lookout.
Yeah, it's really cool. I've done that before, and it's a lot of fun. So we are at the Sugarlands Visitor Center, and you can buy parking tags here. You can put in your credit card. It's all self-service, and or you can go to recreation.gov, and this parking tag needs to be displayed for all parking over 15 minutes in this national park. It costs $5 daily or $15 weekly if you want to stay here for the week, or you can get a $40 annual pass, and you can buy that at the visitor center as well.
We're driving through, and just we read somewhere it takes like 3.5 hours to drive through. We're not going to do all that, but you want to see.
I would like to see, like, stop at waterfalls or whatever. Like when we went to Yellowstone, they kind of told us go here, here, and here. Like whatever you think are don't miss this spot. And are there advice you can give us like that?
Yeah, the place I tell you, don't miss this spots. Parking is probably going to be difficult because that's where a lot of people are going.
So that's how we'll know.
Hiking to a waterfall, you would have to hike to a waterfall.
Okay, we have to hike to a waterfall. Okay.
Yeah, and that would be, here's where we are.
Okay.
The closest place is Laurel Falls right here. It's 1.3 to an 80-foot waterfall.
Whoa. The guy at the travel center told us to turn here at Bubba Gump's to get to this other waterfall. But just turn here, and then that is going to take you down into the part of the park, the National Smoky Mountain Park, that he said is sometimes not as busy as the other waterfall. Oh, look at that. There is the Redneck Comedy Bus Tour.
Oh, I bet that's fun.
Where caviar meets collard greens. Okay, that's funny. Okay, so the windows are down in the car. Cannot beat this. And we are down to a single lane. We got stopped by a park ranger that said that a deer had triplets out here, so we had to be on the lookout. Drive nice and slow for any roaming deer that might be out here. Zach, you have any words of wisdom?
It's beautiful. It's a great drive. An easy drive, too.
Yeah.
We climbed down a little trail. We could hear some running water, and here's what we saw. Yeah, worth the time and the effort, no doubt.
It is gorgeous. Super excited.
So we're just down the road from where we stopped and looked at the creek going through, and we came upon a little cabin that is kind of one of the original Smoky Mountain cabin style facilities, and we're gonna go check it out.
Yeah, it looks like it has a little fireplace, but just an old wooden cabin that people lived in the middle of these hills.
That's right. It amazes me when we see some old cabins like this, and it just really wasn't that long ago in history that's how our ancestors were living. So we've come a long way, and we've got a lot of conveniences that so many generations before never had. Sometimes we just need to be a little more appreciative. So here's the old house. Look at the height of the door. You know, a lot of people would hit their heads on that. I'm gonna bend down, make sure I don't.
Hey, I like that there was just a stepping stone here. Wow, they had a fireplace. Oh, and there's the granny hole, because they didn't have very many windows because they had to keep it warm.
And that's why they had the granny hole?
Yeah, that was the granny hole. And there's a fireplace. And they had, what, 9 children in here?
And they lived here until the 1930s. So You know, like I said a while ago, I've got a lot to be appreciative for. Sometimes I just don't appreciate all the things that we have.
They weren't tall people.
No.
Ephraim and Minerva Bales, this would have been difficult for me. I would have been bumping my head.
That or they bent over a lot.
Well, honey, how did they do this one then? They just kept the children small? I don't know how you do this.
Now this is an old breezeway. I remember my dad talking about when he was growing up, a lot of the houses were built with a breezeway, and they'd bring their beds out in the breezeway in the summertime, and they would sleep out here because it would cause an effect where the wind would flow through. He was born in 1921, so that was probably about 18, 19 years before they stopped living here. Now, my dad didn't grow up here in the hills of Tennessee, but a lot of the houses that he was in and around were very similar.
They actually had a wood floor, and they had 2 fireplaces. That's pretty upscale.
Yeah, another fireplace.
To have a wood floor and fireplaces.
But Linda, where's the showers?
And
Where's the bathroom?
They don't have a granny hole. Hey, they had outhouses. I know from my grandma in Kansas, she had herself a good outhouse. So
Yep.
That's how they did it.
I think Linda and my generation are some of the last people that their grandparents had outhouses. And I remember going out there into the outhouse at my grandmother's house when I was little.
Hey, look at how this is, you know, what, tongue and groove?
Tongue and groove, that's exactly right. This little house here, I'm pretty sure that this is Linda's house, because as a little girl, she was a little mischievous, so her mom would probably put her out here in this.
I was always a goody two-shoes. That man walking by said this is where the man goes when he misbehaves.
Are you telling me it's the husband house? Is that what you're saying?
Apparently, I didn't know I was supposed to have one of these. And look, they make you crawl on your belly to get in there. I don't quite understand.
When we get back up front, they have a sign and it shows what all these little houses are. We'll try to find out for you and let you know. So this is where the people that lived in these cabins would go to get their water daily. And it runs right down this little stream. The water is about 50 degrees, and that's even here in the summertime.
Wow, and it's so beautiful. I love the sound of running water.
At this point in my life, more and more of the time, I just sit and think about God and all the things He's done, the beautiful nature, the trees, the leaves, the way they are green in the summer and start turning so beautifully red and golden in the fall. And it's just amazing what He has done. And He's just on my mind all the time. I hope He is yours to get to that point where you're just thinking about Him.
Right.
Okay, so the small one here we were looking at, that is a hog pen, and that was their barn over here. House, which is right here.
And there's the corn crib.
Right.
Over there.
And then the corn crib, which is just right over there. Of course, the key for them was being close to a good water source, and you know, cooked, bathed, clean, everything with the water right out of that little creek. And it is beautiful, clean, clear water.
It is a 1925 historic Eli's Mill. Well, there's a real outhouse right there by the creek. This is Eli's place, and it is an old mill, and he was a Yale grad, and apparently was highly opinionated.
Okay, this is a really interesting place. We're coming through this national forest, and all of a sudden is a little section of land. It is privately owned, and it was built by Mr. Andrew Eli, and they called him Old Man Eli. And surprisingly enough, he was a Yale law school grad and had a law business, a printing business, several other things. But one day he decided, you know, this life is just not for me in the city, and he bought 30 acres out here, and he would have an opinion on everything, and he just would say that living the way people do is not right. So he moved out here and he said, you need milk, bread, honey, and it's got to be homemade bread. Pretty much said anything that was store-bought was wrong and evil.
And he would tell you all about it. He was highly opinionated. But I think that his wife passed away is why he moved out here all by himself. And he built a lot of buildings, but he's into making his own honey with the bees, and he's got the outhouse, and he's got the grist mill, and I think there's even a bed and breakfast out here, so super cool.
And at the time it was built, or its heyday, he had about 20 buildings. Now this was way back, but now there's a little gift shop and some specialty stores and a place to pull over and rest for a few minutes. Okay, we are in Pigeon Forge, and my wife is taking me to where?
I believe it's the Old Mill Restaurant.
The Old Mill Restaurant. We heard it was really good, so we're going to go give it a try. It's right here behind us, and we'll show you what we find.
Yeah, and it's going to be like country cooking. A guy who was at Ruby Falls told us that if we come to Pigeon Forge, make sure you don't miss this place. So we'll be checking it out. We're going to check out the pottery place. Well, he is busy concocting some new brew at the Old Forge Distillery, making some spirits.
Okay, so as soon as we sat down, the first thing they did was bring out a big basket of corn fritters and a roll, really good, and some honey butter to go along with it. So now they brought us fresh corn chowder, and that looks tasty. Cream corn with these rolls, and the butter on the rolls is this maple butter, but we asked for regular butter. We're really not into sweet butter on our rolls, so they accommodated us, so we're looking forward to this. We had corn fritters, we had rolls, we had corn chowder, we had a salad, and then we got our mains. Linda got pot roast, I got meatloaf, and this is what's left over. And now Linda's got blueberry cobbler coming with ice cream, and I've got a piece of chocolate cake.
And it was really good.
Very good. Okay, Linda, what do you think? What'd you get?
Oh my goodness, well, I decided to get the blueberry cobbler because they serve it hot with the homemade vanilla bean ice cream that they make. And so I was like, okay, I have to try the ice cream. So yeah, it's really homemade, it's delicious. So I am enjoying it. That's what I spilled. So below in the comments, let us know what your favorite place is to eat. We'd love to hear about it.